Hey, good morning. It's Mike from MC Ranch Overland. Hey, we're here in a local provincial park and we're going to be shooting the second of the MC Ranch Overland Ranch Hand series today. It's just going to be a short video. The last video that we shot was a little bit about our brand, and we explained some practicalities around the original Fire Reflector and how to get the most out of it. So today we're going to move on to the topic of fire, and I'm going to share with you the practicalities and the learnings that I've had over a lifetime knocking in the woods. And like the military radio plan, which is called a PACE plan, the PACE plan is an acronym for primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. And basically in the military, when people have to make communications, there has to be a plan where at the end of the day the objective is met, because people's lives are at stake, or it could be search and rescue communications as well. So I use the same acronym, except the P is now planning or preparedness, and then alternate, contingency, and emergency. So the Campfire for MC Ranch Overland is the arena of engagement, and it's where we have fun and we share stories and etc. with our friends and family. But it can also be something that's a necessity for keeping warm or for an emergency situation. So I carry a all-inclusive box, which actually only weighs maybe 15 pounds, with the same items in it all the time. Now, in consideration of that we actually want to make a campfire, I'm just going to jump to one item that I use all the time, and I've been using this briquette chimney or lump charcoal chimney for at least 20-25 years, and it's a very simple device that works on a Venturi effect. So it works with newspaper. This paper is from the original Fire Reflectors when they get shipped to my house, so I always have lots of it. But basically all you do is shove some paper in here like this, and then flip it over. And then we will always use lump charcoal because it has no petroleum products in it, and I think it burns hot, it lights quick, and it's very clean to cook on. So what I do when I get to camp is I go through these steps every single time. What it does is it gives me the opportunity to either cook immediately or get the coals hot enough that we can light a fire with absolutely no stress. Now what I carry with me, I have a Zippo on a butane, and like I said, it's not really an emergency lighter. This I wear in my jeans, and it keeps the butane warm, so I seem to never have a problem with it, and I like the feel of it and everything. There's a kind of a pride and ownership with it. But what I do is I light the bottom, just the paper, in 4 or 5 locations. And that's basically it. Now these holes allow oxygen to go through. The heat rises, you get a Venturi effect, and these briquettes will be lit, or this lump charcoal will be lit very, very quickly and be able to be used. So now let's just go through the rest of the box. So when the box is closed and I take it out of the truck, first of all, it allows everything to stay warm, stay dry. After I have my campfire going, I usually store it underneath my truck, and that's basically where it lives. What's nice about this is if I really need a campfire and I need to stay warm, now I have somewhere that I can actually sit and I can manage, I can prepare wood, etc. And one of the things which it allows me to do, which I would like to demonstrate here, is when you're working with an axe. So here's one of my favorite Swedish axes right here. There's obviously some liability there. It's a sharp tool. Now when you swing an axe, a lot of people tend to create an arc, and they continue with that arc once they've made contact with their wood. If a mistake is made, you can really create some damage really quickly and get a severe injury. So when you use an axe, it's always best to bend your knees at the end and allow the handle to be horizontal to the ground, and then you can never have an accident. But what it allows me to do here is, with this box that I can sit on, I can very safely either split wood this way, or I can split wood this way. And again, I have that horizontal condition that really makes things safe. Now that we're talking about splitting wood, we intend to do some cooking here. So we have an option to either use the lump charcoal as it sits, add to it, and start cooking immediately like that. If you're trying to create a fire that you actually want to cook on, you want to make sure that you cut your fuel source, your wood, usually between 2.5 to 3.5 inches, but no larger. If you take a larger piece of wood and put it on a campfire, it'll light, but it'll never really become amazing coals. It really has to burn down a lot. And if you have just little slivers, they'll never become coals. They'll just burn, and it'll just turn into ash really, really quickly. So the idea to be able to sit out of the snow or the rain and manage a tool like this safely, I think is very important. So that's the axe. Now we're going to just leave the axe here for half a second. Now I'm going to show you another product that we have and a reason why I think this box is valuable. So this is a product that's on our website. It's a beautiful saw that's made by Agawa Canyon in Ontario. And you'll probably see these around. These people are already a very successful company, and it's a beautiful product, and that's why we're basically endorsing it. But when you're in the woods and you're actually harvesting your own wood, you basically end up with more of this. This is split wood from home. Clearly, I'm just using it for demonstration purposes. But what this box allows me to do is it's kind of a little bit of a sawhorse. So now I can manage my wood like this. I can stand on it here, and I can cut it safely like this. And I can work my way through it. And I'm there, right? So the box is like an important part of this, right? So this is preparing, and this is planning. When I open the box, here we have lots of other goodies in here. So, and this is where contingency, alternate, and emergency could come in. So I have my paper that you saw that I used for the chimney, which is well used now. And I'm not going through this in any particular order. I have a Fisker's ceramic sharpener for my axe, which just make sure you have a sharp tool for safety reasons. I have fat wood, and not a lot of it. I really only use fat wood for emergencies because it smokes a lot. I don't like to cook on it, but for starting a fire, it's important. I have some very simple barbecue lighter, just in case if the conditions are really, really bad. Of course, my favorite welding gloves, which I've had for 20 or 30 years. And this way I can, you know, any coals or anything that becomes hot and stuff like that, I can manage it safely with this. And then I have my sacrificial shovel. I have very high quality, true military grade shovels at home and part of my kit. But this one is just an inexpensive $20 or less shovel. And again, I have had this as long as I can remember. And the reason I have a cheap shovel like this is for shoveling hot coals, cleaning up a fire pit, and when I'm cooking with a camp Dutch oven, a cast iron Dutch oven, I can take the coals and I can lift them and I can put them on the lid. So anything that you don't care that the temper comes out of this because it's getting hot. And then the only other thing that I really carry in here is my lump charcoal. I have the Zippo, which are sort of my favorites. These are the Zippo tinders, and these burn effectively and they light quickly, and you can see that's a fairly considerable flame there, and if I just put it to the side, you'll see that'll continue to burn. And then the only other thing I have in here is another one of my beloved axes. This is my Holterford Brooks, and this is specifically a splitting axe. So I like to carry both. This is a felling axe. It's called a medium forest axe, and it's made for felling trees, which if you're a layperson, and you don't know what felling is basically falling trees. It's just another word for it. They do split wood. They're great for kindling, but for anything larger, it's safer and better to use a real splitting axe. So that's my box in a nutshell, and it weighs very, very little. I'm going to say with a completely full, we're maybe at 15 pounds. Sometimes I put a little bit of wood in it. Sometimes I put the TGM Metalworks fire tray in it, and like I said, I always have it with me. So I think a person could make this kit a little tighter and smaller, but I like the latitude that I can add a few things to it if I need to. So that's basically it. Close this up. Now, as you can see here, this is one of the flagship products that MC Ranch Overland has on their website. We're actually doing a little bit of a redesign on it. We're really trying to up the structural integrity on it so it's a true heirloom product. But the idea with the harvester, which it's called, is it lives, I'll just everything out really quick. It lives in your vehicle like this, closed up. Your axe and your saw live in it, in these little envelopes. So if I were to open this now, I'm going to do like this. I'm going to fold up the Agua saw, put it away, like this, put it back in the sheath, put it here, and this can just live in here. I always have it with me, and there you go. Now here I have my axe. Put my axe away safely. Snap this on. My axe goes generally in the other side. Axe lives in there like that. And then I always have a second pair of gloves. These pair of gloves usually live in the box. I put this in here like this. And then I fold it. And basically that's it. I always have my cutting tools safely in here. So for today, I think what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bit of breakfast. But I'm just going to show you, this has been burning for maybe 6 minutes or something like that, and you can already see that it's absolutely red hot. This, because it's so thin, cools very quickly. So right now, obviously it's a bit of a liability. It's hot. I just put it aside. And now I can take my kindling, but this is so hot at this point that it'll ignite wood like this quite quickly. So, and there's my campfire. So anyway, so that's it basically in a nutshell. We're going to do a part 2 on campfire, and what we're going to talk about now are stoves, propane devices, and other ways to cook in the field. But for now, this is basically what I wanted to explain. And I hope you got some useful information out of it, and looking forward to making the next one for you. So have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk soon.